What's up, TTFF people, and welcome to the Tucson Family Food Project. My name is Steven Cotarobles. This week we're filming on location in our prep kitchen here at Catalina United Methodist Church, who donates this incredible space to us so we can prep your meal kits every single week. Now, you know I'm all about teaching you how to use vegetables, but I know that not everyone is as jazzed on veggies as I am. But this week I designed a recipe that I can almost guarantee you will appeal to all of you. And even if you don't like some of the ingredients we're gonna use, all I ask is that you try it and give it a fair chance. And if you still don't like some of these ingredients, then I'll just have to keep trying. So get ready, because this week we're making teriyaki veggie pita pockets. In your meal kit this week, you have a 1/4 cup of avocado oil, a 1/4 cup of teriyaki sauce, 7 ounces of mushrooms, 14 ounces of bell pepper, 6 ounces of yellow onion, 6 pita pockets, and all you're gonna need to make this week's recipe is a frying pan, preferably non-stick, a spatula or wooden spoon, and a bowl. So the first thing we're gonna do is heat up our pan over medium-high heat. And then we're gonna add in just about half of our oil. We're gonna let that heat up for a second, and then we're gonna add in our bell peppers and onions. You want to give them a nice mix and get oil on as many of these as we can. And then we're going to let these go without stirring them for just about a minute, and then we'll check on them, but we want to start almost caramelizing the onions and the peppers. So these have been going for about a minute now, and so we're going to give them a little stir, and you can see how the onions and the peppers have started taking on some color, and that's exactly what we're looking for. If your pan is sparking too much, turn the heat down a little bit. That means that it's up a little bit too high. But basically, we're just gonna keep doing this until all of the peppers and onions have a nice color on them and they've started to wilt. And then we're gonna add in a little bit of our teriyaki sauce. All right, so now that our onions and bell peppers have started to take on some color, we are gonna add in about half of our teriyaki sauce, and we're gonna let this continue to cook, and that's gonna thicken up the teriyaki sauce and bring out a lot of the sugar in the onions. And we're gonna let this go for about a minute. And if you wanna try and get fancy, you can always give the veggies a little flip in your pan. And this is a great way to make sure that everything's coated in that teriyaki sauce. All right, so now that our peppers and onions are coated in the teriyaki's reduced, we're gonna move this off and put this into the bowl, and we're gonna do the exact same thing we did with the peppers and onions with our mushrooms. So we'll add in the remaining half of our oil. And then we're gonna add in our mushrooms. And just like the peppers and onions, we're gonna make sure that these are all coated in oil, and then we're gonna leave them on the heat for about 60 seconds. And we're gonna continue cooking these down before we add in our teriyaki sauce. All right, so you can see our mushrooms are starting to brown, and all the oil is gone, which means that's all in the mushrooms now. So we are going to add in the rest of our teriyaki sauce. Give it a nice stir to get that sauce on all of the mushrooms. And mushrooms are like sponges. They're just gonna soak up all of this teriyaki sauce and all of that flavor. And we're just gonna let that go for about a minute. Mushrooms are all done. We're gonna add them into the bowl with our peppers and onions. And then all we have left to do is heat up our pita pockets and fill. So I turned the heat off on the pan because we had it up fairly high, and all I'm gonna do is just put the pita pockets in the pan here and just let them warm up. And I'm saying pita pockets because these are actually gonna be able to be opened in the inside. So once they're warm, we're gonna open them and fill them with our stuffing. You don't have to do that. You could also do this almost like a taco, which works just as fine, but I'll show you both ways so you can decide how you wanna do it. So now I've warmed my pita up in the pan, so it's nice and warm. And all I'm gonna try and do is find a little seam here that I can rip and start to open. And you'll see that the pita is kind of hollow inside. So we want to very, very delicately try and open this. Now some of these, might be really difficult to do. You can see this one has actually started to rip a little bit here. That's okay, we can still fill it. So we're gonna open it just like that, and then all we're gonna do is place in our filling. And there you go, and you can fill them as much or as little as you want. All right, and so I've gotten some feedback that people want to see me eat the food, which I totally agree with. I think it makes sense. So this is going to be our first go of it. So I'm going to try a bite of our teriyaki veggie pita pockets. That's really good. So you get the sweetness from the teriyaki sauce, but it also has salt in it. You'll notice we didn't add any salt to this dish. Teriyaki sauce has soy sauce in it, which is already nice and salty. And you get the sweetness from the onions. The bell peppers have a nice crunch to them still. And the mushrooms are just very, very flavorful and full of that teriyaki sauce. Very, very good. 10 out of 10 would recommend. So there are our teriyaki veggie pita pockets. Teriyaki sauce is an incredible condiment and can bring a ton of life to a dish, even in small quantities. And you can get really creative with the veggies you use it on, because it goes with almost anything. Something else that works really well in this dish, if you have it, is pineapple. I hope you all enjoyed this week's recipe, and please don't forget to like this video and subscribe to the channel. Only 2 more recipes left for this school year, and we're gonna try to make them as fun as possible. I love, appreciate, and respect all of you, and I will see you all right back here next week with another delicious recipe. So until then, peace.